Okay, we're in the right spot. So I've discovered a huge problem with our game dev stuff. And this happens sometimes in dev, where you're working on something, and there's compatibility issues between code that you're writing and code that you have. And usually programmers work together and fix that before it becomes a problem, or they do like what we did with StarCraft 1 is we had a code base for StarCraft 1. We showed it at E3 in LA. People hated it. So we came back to the office, threw it all away, and Bob Fitch wrote it all from scratch. Bob Fitch sat down and locked himself in a closet and rewrote the whole damn thing. You know, and I think that's kind of where we're at with our project is, and here's why. And I'll try to explain this the way my brain has figured it out. Is we have used so many a single programmer. That's part of the problem. Yeah, is because I don't know or I didn't know anything about Game Maker Studio when we started. I was doing tutorials, and those tutorials were from different years. Like when I say different years, like some were 10 years ago, some were 8, some were 4, some were 2, all that kind of stuff. So what I figured out here is like for our, let me pull the game up here. For our game, and we've done pretty good on it. We're adding stuff to it, but here's the problem is the new stuff that we're adding isn't working, and like things like stacking in an inventory, all that kind of stuff. So what I think is happening is that there's other older pieces of code in there that are causing a problem, you know, and that are writing things in a different way or looking at, or it's just a mess. So some of the, and I don't blame the tutorials, I blame me because I didn't know enough about, I hadn't planned on doing game development. I didn't know enough about Game Maker Studio to actually start. So if I do a build here, I'll show you kind of where we're at, because I even went in, because I couldn't figure out why this wasn't working. And what I've decided on is the problem is that somewhere in the code, it is telling the code to do something else with the things that we're doing. And so I even took some of the code and like dropped it into ChatGPT to say, okay, what am I doing wrong here? Why isn't this working? And it couldn't figure it out either. So I thought that was hilarious, you know, but we'll take a look at it here, because let's get this down. Oh, wait, no, that's the lightning thing. We don't want the lightning thing. Oop. Why lightning up? Lightning will be up. That's funny. I've closed everything. Why is it still up? That one? No, that's the back one. Game. Do I have one up here? No, that one's not even open. Okay. Ah, it's that one. Okay. Alrighty. So let's get this up. So what I'm discovering is that it's having a lot of trouble between the old code that was written 8 years ago, which was the base, and the new code that we're adding in that is using 2.3 or whatever it is for Game Maker. Why is this not coming up? Okay. Because right now, all the code is in there to be able to stack items. It just won't let me. So if I go and pick up stuff, if I pick up like reads or logs, it always just puts one in. But all the code is written correctly for it to stack these items, and it won't stack it. So somewhere in the old code, there's some confusion going on. You may want to delete this part of the VOD. Why? What did I do? Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Oh, no, but that's not where I'm at. I was just chasing lightning. Yes, the spaghetti code is causing issues. Yeah, yeah, I'll take a look at it. I don't think it was above me, so I'll have to look. Because I was following around the lightning to see where it was happening the most. Okay, the spaghetti code is yes, it is. It's a mess, and I'm not a coder, so obviously that's a problem. So what I thought I would do is, and I'll do most of it after hours type thing. Okay, so his leg is broken. He needs reeds. Yeah, so he should. Yeah, see, he's not even taking reeds anymore. He used to take reeds. Now he doesn't. So yeah, so it's a mess and it's not working now. It doesn't work at all now. It did, but it doesn't anymore. So I think my spaghetti code has just caused a huge problem. Is because it's conflicting with itself, and that's not a good thing. Let's see if this one works. Okay, that one still works. Right pillar. Yep, that one still works. Okay, so yeah, this one works, but the idiot Steve, he doesn't work. Well, that's true, but my theory is this: if I go in and start a new game from scratch, and I build this part first, which is our menu, our UI, all that kind of stuff. We build all of that first. Then make sure that it's isolated really well from anything that we add more. Then we can go in and do our level design and all that stuff, because all of that will be done and we'll know that there's nothing in the level design, in the code for the level design, to interfere with the inventory and the menu stuff. Because every time I do one thing, it creates 4 other problems, and then I go in and literally just patchwork it together and hope for the best, and it's not a good way to work. So what we'll do is we'll keep using this one to figure out what our character is going to do next, all that kind of stuff, while I rebuild it in the other section. Go back and look at the. Oh yeah, the map is nowhere near where I'm at, so I'm not worried about it. So I was seeing, like, I was going up the coast looking at all the thunderstorms, because like I even said, is around in Louisiana there's like a circle. I'll show you real quick. So I was following these because, like, look at this here. This is like, so I was going up and following up here. A lot of thunderstorms today. I don't think there's any on this side. Nope. Some up here. Yeah, you can see you can see them popping up. See how the world's doing. Ooh, there's a bunch over here. Oh, wow. That's a lot. As we zoom in, you see the circles. These are the circles I was talking about. Because this is the sound wave it generates. So you can kind of see where this when the sound wave is coming towards you. You can get real close and it'll show them. Cool. Oop. Yep. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I just thought it was weird that this circle's here. I'm assuming there's a high right there, meaning a high and low pressure system. Google Maps always like to remind me that one U.S. state is twice the size of the whole of my whole country. Okay. I'm assuming that would be Texas or Alaska. It's twice the size of your whole country. Let's see if there's any thunderstorms. Yeah, there's some down here in by Australia and New Zealand. Japan and Philippines all have some too. Well, that's cool. So it changes to Chinese writing. That's pretty cool. I don't think it did that before. Cool. Lots of activity. Yeah, this is what I was doing when we were talking. Was I was going around to see how many. I just thought it's hilarious that this is like a open and it's completely surrounded. Kind of looks like fire guys marching across the field, but oh well. It's all good. Isn't that Korea or am I wrong? Well, let's see. Korea is not in Florida. Korea is right, I believe is here. Isn't that where Korea is? Am I wrong? Yeah, there's. This thing's kind of. Oh no, it's right here. This is Korea. South Korea, North Korea. But it's in. This is because that looks like. Yeah, that's Korean. That would be Korean, and this one would be Chinese. Yeah. Yep, yep. South Korea, North Korea, and the rest. But this one over here is Thailand. No. They don't have it in English. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. This is Japan. So this is South Korea, right? Yeah. Let me open up another window and get Google up. We will settle this. Let's see. Google. Zoom way the hell out. Come over here. Over here, here, up here. Yeah, I was right. Let's flip this one. So there's that one. If we go to this other one, there is South Korea, as I said. North Korea. Hiroshima. So this is all Japan. For some reason I thought you went by a different username. I do, I go by Yearjoy. No. Our last name is Hull. It's always been Hull. Where's Seoul? I've been to Seoul. It's funny because their airport is on an island. And then you land on the island and then they basically bus you into South Korea. I've been in North Korea, but been to Seoul. And it was really cool because when I was flying back, we flew over Japan and I'm looking out the window and I'm also all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, there's Mount Fuji. Or I'm sure that's what I was raised calling it. I don't know if that's what they call it there. So yeah, because you kind of go up and around to come back just like you do when you go back to California, Los Angeles. Cool. I've been out here a few times too. But cool. That's funny. Google Maps now has other planets. Let's take a look at Mars. I did not know they had this, but okay. Oh, it's kind of patchwork together, but interesting. Didn't know that existed. Oh yeah, South Korea, North Korea, Japan. Yeah, such crispy quality, without a doubt. Okay, so as I was saying, let me turn that back on, turn that off. Is we're going to continue working on this while I rebuild the base for the stuff. So, which means that I can stop working on the inventory on this one, and we can just start working on the different things we want to do in the game itself. So, but I'm actually not too. I don't dislike where we're at here. I just wish that there was just more to it and that it was easy. All game making is hard. We have to just deal with that. That is just the reality of what we do. Still missing a piece. Let me go put that one up because I think he has too many items. I think that our inventory, because without stacking our inventory, I believe is set to just 8 items. That's why we're not picking up this one over here. I believe it was right in here somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. Up here. Ah, there it is. I got it. Go back to the otter and give her that one. Okay. And then the crown. Yeah, so when we're done, it should look the same, but all the spaghetti mess that I've created will be gone, hopefully. I'm not saying this is going to work perfectly, but it will do what we need it to do. And what we'll have is the way I'm going to set it up in the new one is that all of our inventory stuff will be in one place, and then everything that lives for that inventory will be there. and then it'll be easier to track down when there's problems. Because even in our game maker stuff, our menu system, our inventory system for the actual game itself is an absolute mess. You know, there's a lot of stuff that isn't needed in there. I would just say remove one of the inventory systems. Well, the thing is I thought I removed all of them, but I think that there's embedded code in some of the objects that was not removed. In fact, I thought I went back to a build that had no other inventory system in there, but this one does have. There is some inventory stuff from the old one in here, but I thought it was all turned off, but apparently it's not, because here's the graphics for the old ones. You know, so if we do a search for this, there should be no code calling it. Yeah, so this is just setting the text width and stuff like that for it. There's no code that actually calls it. So it shouldn't be an issue. But like I said, I've done so many tutorials from so many different time periods that I don't think that we're getting the full extent of what we should be getting out of this. And it's making it harder and harder to add new things. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Is I don't think it's a lost cause. I think it's a we have to know when to stop, reevaluate, and start over if we have to. And the more I look at this, the more I play with it, the more I chase the things that are going wrong. Like there's several things. Like there's the old quest system that was based off the way we did the Cat Hat one, where you have the questing in. You have to set up a quest. You have to mark that quest as 0 or -1, meaning not done. Then you have to go and get the quest from the character. But there's a whole system over there that does that. Now, with the new inventory system, that system doesn't work, because when we go with the old one, you had to go and pick up an object, literally carry it off above your head, and walk it back to the person, to the NPC that asked you for it. You know, so that we can't use that, because we want to be able to actually collect all the pieces for a quest before coming back, as opposed to having to run all the way across the world with a piece above our head. You know, so what we're going to do is we're going to just put all that together first, then put together from using that inventory system, then start putting together how our quests are built, as well as how the inventory stuff's built, because the way inventories are now built is actually pretty cool. And we could add functions to the inventory items. So, and we have that. In fact, if we go to even Steve, let's go to Steve here. Steve has code in him that we're supposed to be able to access, but it's not coming up. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's Steve, and Steve has a list of requirements. So he requires 3 reads and 2 sticks or logs. Right now I have it set to logs, but all the code is in there for him to recognize when we have it or not, but he doesn't. Now I think it has something to do with the read quest needs, but I'm not sure. So Another thing is, like in this particular case, when he completes the read quest, if it's 2, then it changes the graphic to the Steve leg graphic, which is the graphic of Steve with the reads on his leg. So if we go look at regular Steve here, it basically changes his sprite to one where he has the reads on his leg, which is this one down here. But it does it now in several places, though I think I turned everything off for the other one. I don't think I have. I thought I had. I don't think I have now, because something is conflicting. So if we do, my theory is this: if I go in, I build all the UI, all the inventory as the very first thing. Then once it's in and functional, then I start building out the quest system so that we have a quest system that works, and we don't have that many variables. Because we only have the UI in there, we won't have very many variables to play to mess things around, you know. And I can then take that and then start adding the player code of how he runs around, walks, and all that stuff. And we'll just make him a dot for now. And then what we'll do is we'll keep working on this one, and then I'll give updates on the other one as it's going. That way we don't stop our design process. We're just stopping our programming process. So now we can go back to the cool part, which is, okay, well, what if we do this next? And then we do that. You know, also making some of the animations, because we want this to be able to animate, you know, so that the water is moving. You know, we have to talk about which statue is the next one he would build, because what we'll do is once the water is running, then we'll create the spirit animal for the next god and put it next to its statue or its altar. And then that spirit animal will be able to tell you where to go to get the next the pieces for that altar. You know, and then we'll write the lore on it. And then the otter will still be there, because the otter is the spirit animal of the god that Loki killed. And it will continue to help us make Loki's plans a mess, which I think is great, actually. Sorry. Are we supposed to be seeing the Game Maker window? No, because I was talking about this. Gold member, thank you very much for the follow. So yeah, so now we can continue on with what the storyline is. You know, and well, then I still need to fix that, but we'll fix that all going forward. So this can be our sketch board of trying things and stuff like that. We will update some code in this one, but it's only until the other one gets up and running. You know, and then we'll dump this one and go to the new one. You know, and layouts and stuff like that are all good. Another thing I want to do is I want to increase the resolution, do a better resolution so that we can use higher resolution things. Because yes, this size is great, but drawing things this small kind of sucks. And it's just going to be a game like this. I just don't want to. I want to at least double the size of our characters and our sprites so that we can put a little more detail in them. You know, I also broke a few things while I was together, so I think, oh no, the logs are back. Yeah, so those are supposed to stack and they're not stacking. And that's what caused this, is something somewhere is telling it not to stack. And now it's not letting me drop anything either. So, because I should have been able to drop some of that. I'm a lousy programmer, and I tried to bite off more than I could chew and did things in the wrong order. So, but it further advances what we had talked about before, in that I thought that if we built a base for our stuff, oh, you can drop the stuff, but you can drop some things, you can't drop everything. Oh, I guess you can drop everything. I'm wrong. Well, that is true. Every programmer is lousy. But the important part is that you continue to strive to get it right. Yeah. Yeah. So, because what we can do is, in the new one, we can literally just don't worry about the backgrounds at first, but just build the things that we need, test them, and then in fact, we could take this and just put them in a line and say, okay, here's the order we're going to put them in, and then just make a black room with the character with those in there. So that is my plan. Because you have to know, and people have asked me this quite a few times, is why did Blizzard just throw things away sometimes? And the reason why is because it wasn't working. And we wanted to make things better. We didn't want to just spin our wheels on something forever if it wasn't working. So we've learned a lot from this, and I'm sure there's things that I'm going to completely screw up in the other one too, but it goes back to what we were talking about before in the beginning, where it's like, okay, let's build something that's a base that we can then do tests with. And this particular base has gone as far as it can go, and we don't have the ability to move forward with it anymore. So we're going to build a new base from all the things that we learned on this one. That's going to give us a better game. And it's not a failure. It is, I have learned what doesn't work. Therefore, let's look at this mess. I kept throwing things in, you know. Yeah, the test room will be better, and that's what we'll do, is we're going to make a test room for everything. And what we can do is we can literally, I'll show you basically what I'm thinking. So if I make, and I'm not going to save this, so I'm going to close all this up. Always need to close it up here. So if we go to rooms and we say test room 1, we'll make a new room called test room. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to call it test room 1. So it's just test room 1. That's all it is. Invalid.
Brains.
Let's make it 0, 1. That way we can have more than 10 rooms. Okay, so we have a test room 1. And if we're going to do, say, if this is a test room for our altars, right? So what we'll do is we'll go and grab the objects for that. So we need our fountain. So let's find our original fountain piece. Inventory items. Those are the pieces themselves. Entities. M&Es, no. Managers, nope. Another cool thing is we can take some of this code and put it in there in place, knowing that it may not work, and then being able to only fix that piece with the new setup. I swore it was. Make this bigger. I can't. It's just too small. I can't see. Did we just use the sprite? I don't think so. Oh. Okay. So we can say, okay, for our test, we need the fountain piece. And we need our statues. So we can go in here, and we got named statues now. So we can just put them in a line in order like this. His center is all messed up. I'll have to fix that. Wrong one. Thor. We need Thor. And try. Okay. Oh, we can put him there. Him. Put them the same distance apart. Odin will be last. I think Loki should be second to last. The rest of order, I don't think really makes much difference. So we can do that, and for testing purposes, that's what's work. And then we can just line the pieces up at the top. If we know that we want to pick up these pieces, so all we have to do is just drop them in here, so that we can build the fountain in the first place. Because it's not really about it being pretty; it's about it working. Then we'll worry about making it pretty later. Those are pieces. We also need our otter, because she belongs in this room. But this is how we'll test things. And then, of course, we'll end up stacking the pieces for each of these guys in here as well, knowing that we're going to spread them out across the world. Okay, where is Otta? Where is Otta Face? Oh, she's up here. She's huge. So, perfect test room. And I left it open. Damn it. I'm so sorry. All right. So here's what I did when I thought you were looking, but I didn't apparently give you the ability to see. Yeah. Boy, I suck. So I basically put together a basic test room. Here's all of our statues. Here's our otter. And this is what we'll test things in. And then we'll put all these in order and then put their spirit animal next to them as we get through them. And then that will give us the ability to test things all in one place before we go and make the game pretty. And I should have did this before, because I'm always rushing to get to the make it pretty part, because that's kind of what my forte is, or what my basics are for it. But here's all the objects we need to put the fountain together. In fact, we can move them all. We'll stack them this way over here. For testing purposes, we can put them here so that we know, okay, those go to that. So that's what we need to put that back together. In fact, because of the, I think we can pick them all. Yes, we can. Move them down here. Put her down here. And then we can just put all of our pieces above. A debug menu would be really useful. Yeah. Yeah, they don't need to be pretty, they just need to work. So we'll do that, and then we'll put all the pieces above them for our core stuff. But also, with our inventory, with our UI, all that stuff, we can do this. And in all honesty, we can probably just make this room bigger, put everything for our game in, where we can have Steve on the far right. So if we take this and let's say right now it is, let's see, that's our position for the otter. We want the room itself. So width is, we can just make that, we'll just make that 5,000 for the hell of it. So we make the room wide, and then we can put everything like in the order of which you're doing it in here. So we have basically a nice straightforward thing. We have this. We can then take Steve, he's in our townspeople. This also gives us an opportunity to say, okay, these are the pieces we need. So here's Steve. Okay. And things we know we need for Steve is we need three reeds. Three, and then 2 logs. And it's not going to be perfect, but it'll give us an opportunity to test it, because we can go in and say, okay, we'll pick up the 3 logs, because I've been running all over town, and it's just, I feel like I'm wasting time because I'm running back and forth to every place, you know, and don't need to. Can put it all on one page with the correct stuff. You know, we have the hat for the cat. Make it bigger just for fun. And where's our cat? Because he'll be by the house. Grabbing the corner of these things is not easy. Okay. But you get the basic idea. If we do something like that, then we can go in and test directly on them. Go in, pick it up, give him his stuff. Pick it up, give him his hat. You know, then we need the nurse. And this just, I don't know, this just seems to me that we can get all the functionality working better, and then it's just a matter of just propagating it through, as opposed to trying to make everything perfect the first time. If we get everything working, then spreading it out across the building the rooms and putting them in their rooms isn't going to be that big a deal. It's going to be actually quite simple. So the way I'm looking at this is this way, is we're formulating our plan to start over, but we're taking what we've learned from what we've done to make that thing start over. We didn't lose anything because we still have all of our assets. We have all the assets we built, all that kind of stuff. You know, we're just looking now for functionality, which I'm lost on the functionality because I'm not a programmer, you know, and I'm learning as we go. And what I'm learning is I need to know a lot more. So there's the meds that she needs. So, but you can see there's a quit Vic. She sends this to the sheriff. The sheriff is pretty useless, but so the boy, where's the boy? You go to town and there's the boy. He is tiny. Grow up, young man.
Any Nonum says, hydration reminder.
Thank you. So there's the boy. He wants axes. Yeah, so by setting up this, we literally can play through our first part of the game without having to run all over the place and be able to test all the code. I'm repeating myself and I understand that. Sorry about that. You guys get the idea of what I'm trying to do. I don't mean to over explain. I could have swore I put an axe in here. Where did my axes go? Maybe I didn't. Oh, I think it's a sprite, but it's not an object. See, this is also good because we have on one screen we can look at see, okay, what do we need? You know, and it's all there. Sheriff, I think it's an inventory item. It's the old inventory. Yeah, it looks like the old inventory is all still in there. Ah, there it is. Okay.
Unknown caller.
Okay, so there's our axe. We'll go back to here. Boy wants axes, so he can throw them at the otter. Now, obviously we haven't met the otter yet. So I'm sure that there's going to be a quest at some point where the otter says, can you stop that kid? You know, but we will get there. Where did it put it? Otter, We can also take a lot of this stuff out, or not put a lot of this stuff in when we go back. I know I created the object. Where'd it go? This is an object called OAX. Okay. Same as sprite. Yep. Parent. 6. Nope, that's all good. Yet our axe is not over here. Oh, because I probably, yep. I probably put it down here, didn't I? Yep, I sure did. That's another thing is, I wish that this thing is, and how do I put it? When you're making things, if it's, I wish it would just auto place it in the right directory. If it's a object, then put it in the object directory. Because it's pretty much whatever directory you have open is where it puts whatever it is you're working on. So our OAX is put down here somewhere. I just saw it. It's like, okay, which directory? Oh, we had inventory sprites open. Let's bring this back up here. Just put it right here for now, since we're going to rebuild it in the other thing. Go back to this. Put the axes, put like 3 axes here because he's asking for axes. But you get the general idea. Now what I might want to do, now that I'm thinking about it, is have things that you need to bring them above them and things that you're going to get from them below them. So like in the case of the, where's he at? In case of the blacksmith. So he's going to want us to bring him logs and things. So we'll put him here.
Devil King 4th and into Route 87 says it is time.
Okay, sorry. Let me just throw this in here real quick. We can also use the better quality images too. So in this case, I'll just do this real quick and then we'll go to the next thing. So he's saying basically to bring him rock ore. We'll just throw some rock ore up here. And then some logs, which we've already put some logs in here. We'll put some more. And then he will give us That's right, I just put it somewhere. Okay. He will give us axes. So we'll put axes as what he's going to give us. That kind of thing, where we have everything above them are things that we need to bring them. Everything below are things that they give us. Yeah. Did the voice not work for Sparta? Because I didn't hear it. Sparta, is your voice not working? Weird. Let's check the system. Sparta should have a voice. No, he was subbed. Someone gave him a sub. Do this. There, his voice should be working again. All right. Well, yeah. You know, you they're subs, so they need to have special things. I just have to find more special things so that. But you can see kind of what I'm thinking is if we have just this test thing, where we can test all of our full level, right, in one place, while we're building all the code to do all of it, then we can just come in and do it, and then worry about building the world for it later. And we can get all the code in place for all that stuff before it's too late. But that just makes more sense to me because it's, I don't know, I'm just kind of unhappy with the way it's going. I remember you beat me after you said you gifted him. I was trying to do the same. Ah. Wow. Whoa. Nevi, you've given 2 gifted subs in the channel. Thank you very much. And look at the readout here. You've gifted a subscription to Sparta. Thank you very much, Nevi. It's very nice of you. All right, let's get out of this before we're caught for 2 minutes in it. We'll go over to just me. I'm gonna end this for right now. So yeah, it's a rethink day, basically, is what we're doing. And then I'll start building it separately from the one that we'll be using. And as soon as I get to the point to where it's usable, that's what we're kind of do. And we'll do that for each of our levels in the game. Is these are all the things you need to go do and collect and stuff like that, and then bring back. So that is the plan. That is our plan. Let us now end this and go to just me so that